And we officially have more women's basketball. Unrivaled is here. Unrivaled had its debut night and it was definitely a success. The new full court 3-on-3 women's basketball league had its first few games and showcased all 6 teams. The first game for Unrivaled was excellent, 10 out of 10 would recommend. We saw the Mist go up against the Lunar Owls. The 18-second shot clock makes each possession extremely fast, and while fouls would usually slow down a game, here you only get one shot regardless of how the foul occurred, while the points awarded will be based on how the shot occurred. From tip-off, the game kept moving. The quick pace is extremely entertaining, and they definitely got physical. The matchup between Skylar Diggins-Smith and Jewel Lloyd was some great basketball to watch. Those two going at it definitely felt personal. We got a few of the league's first. Brianna Stewart scored the first basket in Unrivaled history. Jewel Lloyd hit the league's first three-pointer, and Alicia Gray hit the league's first free throw. Some highlights from that first game definitely include Dejanay's block as well as Jewel Lloyd's block on Skylar Diggins-Smith. We got some really nice play from Fee, and in my opinion, the players with 3-on-3 experience looked the most comfortable. Overall, that first game showed off the format and how different it is from traditional 3-on-3 and who this league seemed built for. It seems like the full court made it easier, and it showed for a handful of players. Format-wise, the first game did go back and forth. Again, we saw some nice play from both teams. We did get a little bit of drama here, especially with that Seattle matchup. Jewel Lloyd went off, and Skylar Diggins-Smith was with her the entire way. But it was also the first game between the Founders. Both had decent games. Fee had a better showing than Stewie with 27 points and 10 rebounds, while Stewie only had 6 points, but she did pull down 14 rebounds. Their respective teams had other players playing star roles. Jewel Lloyd's 30 points led the Mist to a 73-67 lead at the end of the third quarter, which meant the Mist set the winning score, 11 plus 73, making the first club to reach 84 the winning team. The fourth quarter is not timed and played to that winning score, 11 plus the winning club's score after the third quarter. The first game lived up to the dramatics by having an intense fourth quarter. The Mist went into the fourth quarter up by 6 and needing 11 points to win the game, behind Alicia Gray and Skylar Diggins-Smith scoring 10 of her 21 points in the fourth quarter. The Lunar Owls won the game on an SDS three-pointer, the first game winner in the league being dramatic as possible. The team trailing at the end of the third quarter played some serious defense and made an excellent comeback. Now down the line, the Mist did have a lot of turnovers, so they did give up this game, but the Owls stayed in it, and Skylar Diggins-Smith really looked like she took this personal. That fourth quarter, on her back, she led them right to a win. The second game of the first night was between the Vinyl and the Rose. The Vinyl just seemed strides ahead of the Rose, and this really just speaks to the comfortability and experience in 3-on-3. The full court seemed to make the playstyle even easier, especially for someone like Ryan Howard, who ended the night with 33 points. The Rose seemed a little off format-wise, like they'll have to get used to it and get a lot more cohesion as the season plays on. We got one of the better matchups of the night, Kalia Copper going up against Ryan Howard. A few times they went one-on-one, and it was beautiful to watch as a basketball fan. They were going at it, giving it as best as they were getting. Now, Ryan is the one with 3-on-3 experience. Again, I know this aided with her play. It looked like she was right in her element, up and down the court with ease, stepping into threes, and really being able to anticipate the game. Howard did get some help from Arike Ogunbowale's 10 points and from Hamby's 17 points. I just knew they would be deadly together. The Rose did get a double-double from Angel Reese and 21 points from Chelsea Gray. Kalia Copper was their leading scorer with 24 points, so it was actually a really good game. The Vinyl just had the momentum, and even when the Rose got close, they just seemed to pull away. Some highlight plays from this game include Ryan Howard just stepping into those threes. Brittany Sykes did hit a half-court shot at the end of the third quarter, just trying to cut that lead. The second game just showed how much the refs let them play. Obvious fouls did get called, but it really wasn't a lot of ticky-tack fouls like you see in the W. The third game for their debut weekend featured the Phantom and the Laces, the last two of the 6 clubs for the fans to see for the first time. Now this one was a little tougher to watch. Looking at the Phantom before the games even started, I thought they looked the most randomly thrown together. Ionescu joined very last to the league, and I feel like there's little cohesion with the team. The chemistry is a little weird. Griner is almost a complete liability, and it's like their players don't complement each other. Griner did hit a couple of threes and showed her presence on defense, but she was out of place and barely in the post, so I'm interested to see how their game plan lines change over the next few games. Satu Sabali had a few good looks and played pretty well. Ionescu hit a couple threes, but they really couldn't catch a stride. The Laces show why they're the favorites to win it all, though. A well-rounded team that plays well together, especially in this format. Alyssa Thomas showed her versatility and why she's still a top player in the league, bringing the ball up, really playing that floor general when she was on the floor. Kayla McBride showed out with 28 points and a plus 41 efficiency rating. Tiffany Hayes just played with all that energy she always comes with. Kate Martin played ready. She hit a couple of threes and scored their game-winning basket. The game was just out of hand way too early. So after seeing all the teams for the first time, you really have to feel for the Phantom. It was fun to watch, although it felt like a blowout game, but hopefully they make some changes. Maybe pull in some reserves or replacement players. The first two games were really close. The winning score quarter showed the players putting it all out there. It gave them some intensity and focus in the fourth quarters. You really saw the players lock in on both teams, having to focus on getting to that score first. We saw a lot of comfortability, in my opinion, from players that have played 3-on-3 before. Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Stephanie Dolson had a really good game. Just looked like this league was made for them. Unrivaled is so exciting and very, very fast. The first thing you notice is how the pace does not slow down. In all the games, the only slowdown were challenges, which I think was a good addition for the players and the clubs. Timeouts are extremely important in Unrivaled. The coaches have to be aware of when their players need that breather, especially considering substitutions. They have to be attentive to how winded someone is. Even fouls move pretty fast, with them only getting one shot regardless of how the foul occurred. Whether it counts for 1, 2, or 3 points, they get that one shot off and keep the game moving. I still think it's pretty interesting if a team loses 3 players to fouls though, because I can say the refs let them play. You have to be out there pretty blatantly playing wild to get fouled out. This had to be a conscious decision from the founders, like they wanted to be close to street ball without it really getting out of hand. But the game just moves, and while some struggled, I think they really will find the feel as the season progresses, get a better understanding of the format, and really get good. The high IQ players are going to figure out this league and how to manipulate the rules and spacing. A majority of the players in this league haven't played official 3-on-3, and as they get better, I think the product gets better. Even the second game on day 2 showed more comfort from the Rose. They looked better prepared and ready for the parts they'd play. The Rose looked better against the Vinyl, their second game, but I'm surprised Lexi Hull didn't get more playing time. Even playing behind Chelsea Gray, I think she could have gave them good production on the floor with Gray and Stevens. Chelsea Gray may be the only one they trust bringing the ball up, so Lexi may get the raw end of that deal as the season progresses. After seeing all 6 teams and even seeing the Rose and the Lunar Owls play twice, this is how I would rank them. I definitely have the Laces up top. The Vinyl are a close call for me. With the right argument, we can switch them around, but I definitely think the Lunar Owls, the Mist, the Rose, and the Phantom round those numbers out. The other thing I wanted to comment about is the injuries and odd lack of replacements. Cameron Brink is recovering from an injury, and her club just said they'll play the season with 5 players. She's on the Owls, so far it's not really hurting them. They're 2-0 at the moment. But the Phantom lost Marina Maybury probably for half the season and plan on replacing her with Natasha Heidemann, a Minnesota Lynx from 2024 that helped them make it to the finals and win the Commissioner's Cup. So in comparison, the Phantom definitely need more help, but at the same time, the Laces aren't playing Jackie Young. She's recovering from a knee injury. They're unsure for how long or how serious, but she also hasn't been listed to be replaced. It just seems like something they'll have to address, maybe a group of backup players or reserves for each team, whether they stay on campus or not, cost-wise, because they look to be set up pretty well, but still available for situations like this. Other than that, it was a very enjoyable night across social medias and different lives, so I'm loving it. You saw a little more action between the coaches and the players watching it on TV, the way they're airing it. You were in the timeouts, and between quarters, they're talking to players and coaches. You're seeing a lot of the exchanges between the coaches and assistants and players. When Chelsea Gray got hit across the face, you heard her entire complaint, so it's it's a little bit different while having that same feel. They showed off the crowd a few times with the drone. Now, Unrivaled also has some of the best commentators available for women's sport. We had Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker. We got pregame and halftime yakety yak from Parker, while Lisa Leslie will be calling games. I like that we get this camaraderie and we get the back and forth between former players and legends in the league. They pretty freely use the players' nicknames, Sweet Baby Ray for Ray Burrell, KFC for Kalia Copper, and they love the Boom Boom Room, that area in the post where it's going down. Unrivaled somehow figured out how to cover all these bases, but the players definitely showed out for the first night. The second day, you can tell they're really playing and they want to win. The better the product, the more they make, and it shows in almost every single play. I thoroughly enjoyed the first and second day of Unrivaled. Fee and Stewie really did their big one with this league.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.